CHAP tales. Don't you wanna hear some CHAP tales?
Anyway, so we carry on. We get to where the cavern is, and it's like this little street. It's right Beatles up this street. You know what I mean? There's like a Beatles shop, and then there's the cavern, and there's other pubs and bars and some food places, I think, and that. So anyway, we're quite early, like, so we go in there just offhand to see if maybe the engineer was there to do a sound check or whatever, but he weren't there. But there was loads of Beatles memorabilia everywhere, and it was just like, oh, fucking hell, I was like, this is amazing. Do you know what I mean? We was just like, well, most of our group thought it was amazing. There's a few people that just didn't even give a shit about music. They just come in because we was going to Liverpool. And then so after we checked out the cavern and seen if we could sound check, but we couldn't, we decided to check out some of the other bars and pubs and that, 'cause they all had like funny names. I can't remember them, but you know, like you, for instance, there might have been a pub called Sergeant Pepper's, or do you know what I mean? Or Beatlesy sort of reference sort of things, you know what I mean? So we're flying up and down this street, like it's amazing. We didn't actually see much of Liverpool. It was like the walk from where we parked the van to the street that the old cavern's on, and then we just saw that whole street or whatever, but that was about it. And then so but anyway, we ended up going in some other pub, and by this time it was like 11:30 or whatever, and they started serving, so everybody's just getting right on it, man. Out there, everyone was getting mentally out of their faces. And then time flew by, and it was like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or whatever. So the band members sort of said, well, me, Jack and Chris, anyway, I hadn't even bumped into Richard at this point. We sort of said, right, we're going to go and do our sound check, and then we'll come back and meet you in here, yeah? And everyone's like, sweet. Angie's like, I'm coming with you. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. And I think Charlotte came with us as well. Oh, that's the thing that I just forgot to tell you. Just before we jumped on the motorway up to Liverpool, Charlotte's little mate she had with her, she just started throwing up, being sick. She's just like, so we had to pull over, and we was on Finchley Road, like, and we had to sit there because she was too ill to carry on with the trip, like, so we had to sit there until her dad had turned up to pick her up, like, and then obviously once that had happened, we carried on, and then I've already been through what we did up until this point, but yeah, so yeah, we were 16-handed. We'd lost one of our seats had become open. I think it became the seat to store the food on in the end. So we go for this sound check, and like Angie and Charlotte are with us. And then when we get in there, Richard and his girlfriend are there or whatever. So I suppose Charlotte, Angie and his girlfriend just sat having a chat or whatever. And we got up onto this stage and done our stuff. But it was funny, like, because we when you go into the cavern, you go downstairs, and then if you're like a Beatles fan or whatever, you know about the cavern, you know that you used to see the Beatles playing in this arch. Do you know what I mean? And basically there was an arch, like, where they sort of would have played, but they'd added onto it like some massive stage and like quite a bit of a venue where the actual gig was. So I was a little bit sad about that, because I was just thinking, yeah, just let us play in that archway, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be much better. But no. So anyway, out the back is this slightly bigger stage and bigger part of the venue. It's all part of the cavern now, but I don't think that's how it would have been when the Beatles were playing there. But yeah. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think little birdie told me that the cavern had actually been pulled down and rebuilt. I don't know how true that is, but I'm sure if you go on Google, you can find out. But anyway, so we're at this back bit with this bigger bit of venue, and we doing our sound check, all sounding pretty good. Yeah, all happy with the sound check. So we leave there, and I think me and Angie went up to look at this Beatles shop, and all the mad stuff they had in there, and basically, yeah, just looked around at everything, all the stuff. I think I probably bought some little silly bits or whatever, but then we was like, right, let's go and meet up with the others. So we went back to the pub bar place that we'd left them in before sound check, and obviously we walked in there's no one there, so it was like, oh, fuck. So the time by now is probably about 6:30, and Angie's feeling a bit hungry. I was a bit hungry as well, so we went and found somewhere to eat, and sat in there for an hour and a half or whatever. Just had a couple of drinks, me and Angie, and some food and that. And then by this time it was like 8:30, and I think our stage time was 9:30. So we was like, right, let's find the others. So went looking all up and down this street, and basically found them. And yeah, they was in a karaoke sort of bar thing. So and that's where I've just remembered one of the people that I didn't mention, and that's my brother Richard. Yeah, so we walked into this karaoke bar, and we're like, right, we got to get ready to play. And Richard's like, no, wait, I'm waiting for my song, please, let me sing my song, and then we'll go. So I was like, all right, sweet. So Richard's turn comes, and he goes up on stage or whatever in this place, and he's singing Frank Sinatra. And yeah, do you know what? I think he done it well. I'll give him that. I think he did sing the song well. Yeah. And anyway, so he finished, and we dragged everyone out the bar and into the Cavern. And yeah, by this time it had obviously filled up full of people or whatever. And I can remember that we only, because obviously the band didn't have to have tickets. So I think that means that we only sold 14 tickets out of the 18. And I can remember having these 4 spare tickets, and we was because as you go in, the archway's there, and there was a Beatles cover band playing as well, actually, which was amazing. And then to get through to the bigger venue, you have to pay to get through into that bit. So I'm standing here with these 4 tickets, and I was like, God, should we try and sell them? And then I can't remember who said it to me, but they said, you can't try and sell them now. Just give them to some girls or something, get some more girls in there, because we ain't got many girls with us or whatever. So there was a group of girls, and we went over. I can't remember who went over, but someone went over and said to them, do you want to come see our band for free? Give you all a ticket here, just come through in there, and do you know what I mean? And they was like, all right, cool, sweet. So we gave them the tickets, and they followed us through and that. And I got to admit that the actual venue bit wasn't quite as packed as the bit with the archway, because obviously there's a Beatles cover band, and if you're not a band and you're going to Liverpool and you're doing the whole Cavern thing, watching a Beatles cover band is completely and utterly what you're going to do in it. But anyway, these girls came in because obviously it was for free or whatever. And then we, the band went backstage, got ready, and then came out onto the stage and done our 10-song set. And I haven't got any recordings of that. I ain't got no videos because Desi weren't with us. And nobody else really did videos other than Des. Yeah. So I can't put anything up here and show you like us playing there or whatever, because yeah, it didn't happen. But anyway, we played, and yeah, it was a pretty good gig or whatever. But then I can remember finishing the gig and coming off stage, and I think that I don't know what's happened, but Asbo's come over to me and said, some fucking fellas want to have it or whatever. And I was like, well, why? What's happened? And he's like, oh, Ben done something or the other. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I was like, look, we are in Scarstown, so let's not get, do you know what I mean? There's more Scousers than there is us. So let's just be good boys and be nice to everyone, and let's just, do you know what I mean, have a few more drinks, wait for the place to shut, and then we'll go home. And I managed to calm them down, but flipping, they're crazy lot sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, so it was hard, but we managed to do it for some miracle way. So basically stayed in the Cavern, had a few more drinks and that, and then left, and then made our way to the van. And we all got on the van. Everyone was out of their faces. Everyone was definitely drunk, and there might have been a few other things floating about as well. So we won't talk about that. But yeah, it was a nightmare as well, because like everyone was being really noisy and stuff, and then flipping Chris has backed the van into like a low wall and smashed the side of the van, and it's like, oh God. So we looked at the damage or whatever, and Dean said when we got back, like because good old Dean's a mechanic and that, and he just said I might be able to like beat the panels out with like rubber hammer or something. So we said sweet, all right. So we're all in the van, we pull out of Liverpool, and we're back on the motorway, and flipping everybody's going nuts on the van. I felt so sorry for Chris having to drive with everyone being mad. Like Richard, obviously he had his car with him, so him and his missus done one in the car or whatever. But yeah, we come down the motorway and everybody's out of it. And do you know what? There's another thing that I didn't mention that I've got to mention, because I flipping love Amber for this. When in the morning when we went, because we had to go and get Amber and Adam from Camden somewhere. When Amber got on the van, she'd had t-shirts made with the tally and like some big swirling mud target or a Union Jack, I can't remember, but it looked wicked. They were wicked t-shirts, and she'd had like 15 of them made, and she handed them out to everyone on the bus, you know what I mean? So everyone was wearing one of these tally t-shirts as well. So yeah, so that's another thing you knew who was with us, because everybody had these white tally t-shirts on all over the bus. Sorry, I nearly forgot that for some reason. Yeah, but yeah, that was amazing of Amber. Amazing. Yeah, cheers, babe. Nice one. Yeah, so anyway, we're on the bus and trying to go home, and everyone's been well noisy and just nuts. But then after like an hour or so, people just started to fall to sleep, which was probably the greatest thing that could have happened for Chris in the world. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so we plodded back down the motorway and got back into London, got back to Ingester, and like everybody started getting off the bus and cheers and see you soon and leaving or whatever. So then that left me, Chris and Dean. Now, you got to remember, Chris has still got to drive back to Birmingham. Do you know what I mean? To go home. It's mental. Like, and we're looking at the van, and it's got some quite bad dents in it. But we had one of them like rubber mallets that we used to use fishing, putting our tent pegs in the floor and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So we're trying to like panel beat this van as well as we can, do you know what I mean? To try to see that if we can get away with it or whatever. And we're there doing that for like we must have left there at midnight, and I don't know, it takes about 3-4 hours to get back. So I mean, we're looking at, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, like, and Chris is still not even left to go home, you know what I mean? And we was like, look, in the end, we was like, look, we can't do any more. We're just going to have to, because basically what you do with these vans is, and that's another reason why we wanted to drop it off before they opened, because you just park the van outside and you post the keys through their letterbox. So we drove it down to Kentish Town, done that, and then drove back in Chris's car back to Ingestar, and he dropped me and Dean back. And then it was like, nice one, Chris, mate. And then he left to drive home to Birmingham at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I just can't believe it. Like, another couple of hours journey. Yeah, take my hat off to that fella for that. Nice one. Yeah, but yeah, that's how our little Liverpool excursion went. And yeah, but it weren't because of the madness of that journey, but Chris, I think he played like 2 more gigs, one at the Water Rats, one at the Bull and Gate with us, and then he left the band. And yeah, mental. Yeah, and actually he got charged for the dents in the van as well. Well, it was easy to spot, you know what I mean? Yeah, so he had to pay for the damage as well. So it was a bit of a mental journey for Chris, you know what I mean? Because he weren't drinking, because he was driving. So like, he didn't really have that sort of enjoyment of, do you know what I mean? He had to be quite, he's a bit older than us as well. And like, just having all the mental nutters on the van, like, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it. It's like, do you know what? That's the only time I've ever been to Liverpool, and that's the furthest north that I've ever been. Unless Alton Towers is slightly more north than Liverpool, I'm not sure. I know it's close to Liverpool, but yeah. Yeah, so basically just, yeah. Well, at least we have had the experience of playing the Cavern, you know what I mean? It's like quite a prestigious sort of thing to say to other people, like, yeah, like what sort of venues you play down at? Yeah, I played the Cavern in Liverpool, you know what I mean? Like the Roundhouse in Camden. You have to say all the big nice venues first. Yeah. So yeah, so sweet. Thank you. Cheers. Nice one. Thanks for listening. Okay, sweet.
Chap tales. Don't you wanna hear some chap tales?